Doug MPA back on another video. This is an update on my Portland series. The City of Portland City Council passed the daytime camping ban 3-1. Good job, Portland City Council. Good job. If you didn't see my last video, I can tell you I grew up in Western Washington State. Okay? All the cities in Western Washington, a lot of the cities in the Pacific Northwest, Olympia, Seattle, Bellevue, SeaTac, Portland, Eugene, Beaverton, Salem, Oregon. I spent a lot of my childhood and early 20s visiting these cities. It was a wonderful place, and to see what it looks like right now, all these cities with all the homelessness, crime, crazy stuff going on there, it truly breaks my heart, which is why I do the video series. I found this news article that's going to break down the camping ban. Before we get into that, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And let's see what's going on in Portland.
Breaking news alert.
And that breaking news just moments ago. The Portland City Council approved a controversial ban on homeless camping. At 6 o'clock, I'm Jeff Gianola.
And I'm Elizabeth Din. Let's break down this new ordinance and how it'll work. It bans daytime camping on sidewalks, public right-of-ways, city parks, and close to schools. It also bans gas heaters, any blockage to private property, and puts consequences on leaving trash behind.
So look at this chart. Tell me what's wrong with this. Do you see anything wrong with this? Put in the comments if you see anything wrong with it. Time is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. when people are out and about trying to get to work. Businesses are trying to get customers into their business. Don't camp near schools because little kids are in schools. Don't camp near child care centers and parks. I mean, come on. That's where children are. No gas heaters. Yeah, because they could explode. No blocking homes and businesses. What is so bad about this? And then they're allowing them to set their stuff up from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. and sleep on the freaking sidewalk in a tent. I don't see anything wrong with this, guys.
Repeat violators will face fines and jail time.
Elise Haas speaking with homeless service providers about all this. She joins us with their differing perspectives. Okay, Elise, it is now passed. Oh, what did these providers tell you?
Well, first and foremost, Jeff, I do want to say that the cities across Oregon are all up against a July 1st deadline to meet new state laws in order for local governments to come into compliance with new regulations on camping bans. And so
So Portland is the first of many cities in Oregon that are going to pass something like this. It's just everyone's getting on Portland because they were the first to do it, and they had to be the first because they were the worst.
The city of Portland is now ramping theirs up in order to come into compliance, and you have to remember that the city of Portland was recently sued for ADA violation issues for not having access to safe sidewalks. And so
yeah, that just went through. There were a group of disabled people that sued Portland because they couldn't navigate the sidewalks in their wheelchairs, or because there were so many homeless people on the sidewalks. That's how bad it is in Portland, you guys.
So that is what's coming into play here.
As Portland City Council moves to make new rules and regulations restricting camping, homeless service providers are weighing in.
We're at capacity right now, and that's without people coming in with all of their things.
Katie O'Brien runs a day shelter in Northwest Portland called Rosehaven. They serve 150 people a day, 3,000 people a year. O'Brien says many people living outside have disabilities themselves, so she thinks it will be physically taxing on people, forcing them to break down a tent at 8 a.m. and carry their belongings with them all day.
It's really working against people and working against the agencies that are trying to serve them.
I'm so tired of this narrative. I said it in the last video, I'll say it in this one. One of the biggest problems with Washington, Oregon, and California is that they just throw money at the homelessness problem. That center is fully funded. They don't have to worry about funds because they get a whole bunch of money, but they don't have any measurables and deliverables as to what to do with this money. They throw money at the homelessness problem, but nothing's ever done about it. And even things like banning tents during the daytime, people just lose their minds. Something has to be done. And I don't feel bad. I really don't.
In all, O'Brien believes it will be counterproductive.
This is always such a tough needle to thread.
Meanwhile, the leader of Urban Alchemy, the group tasked with running Mayor Wheeler's up-and-coming mass-sanctioned campsite in Southeast Portland, says his organization is neutral to this latest camping ordinance.
A mass-sanctioned camping site in the middle of Portland, guys. That's where we're at. And this is just my opinion. People always talk about how hard homeless people have it. Oh, it's so hard to be homeless. You know what's hard? Getting up every day and going to work, dealing with your boss, getting 30% of your paycheck taken out, having to pay for health insurance, having to pay for dental insurance, having to pay your taxes, having to pay your utility bills, having to pay your mortgage and your rent, having to pick your kids up from school, being a law-abiding, free speech freaking American. That's hard. This whole, homeless is having so hard. I honestly think, not all, but the majority of homeless people in 2023 are people that just don't want to do the work to be average, ordinary citizens because that's hard. That's just me. And they're going to sanction a camping site in the middle of Portland? Guys, come on.
These ordinances really are about creating usable space for everybody. And so for Urban Alchemy, we are glad that our part of the work is to provide safe spaces.
Do you think that this ordinance is going to coerce people to go to this camp? And is that the intent behind it?
Our experience has shown that no ban makes people go into shelter.
Well, and on top of that, in my last video, I covered, the people testifying in front of the city council as to being for or against this ban. And there are people that were saying we need to find a way to get homeless people to utilize the services because they don't. Too many homeless people don't utilize homelessness services. So maybe this camping ban will get people to actually go to these service providers and utilize services.
Instead, he says he bases his organization's success on creating safe spaces that treat people with dignity and respect, with robust supports, so people are willing to go inside.
No one can look at the state of our unhoused neighbors living in encampments and say that's what somebody deserves. I think we cannot romanticize the experience of our sisters and brothers that are unhoused.
He says wherever they operate regulated mass campsites and neighborhoods, they have an obligation to keep parks and schools safe and streets and sidewalks that are passable.
I think we all agree we want our sidewalks to be cleared. It's safer, it's friendlier, it's easier, it's safer. If we don't have housing options for people or shelter options for people, it just doesn't seem like the timing is right for this.
While people and even homeless services providers will have to agree to disagree on this ordinance, one thing that they're all striving for is long-term housing.
Mayor Ted Wheeler says that the goal of these new rules and the enforcement that will follow is to address damaging behavior and to get people the resources that they need. But just moments ago, we had a chance to catch up with Commissioner Carmen Rubio, who is the lone no vote today.
Okay, let's see what this Carmen lady has to say.
I voted no because I was interested in seeing a little bit more of a thought out plan. Also, there were some questions outstanding to me around where are folks going to go once it's implemented. There were some steps that I think with more time and more collaboration, we could have gotten to resolve some of these outstanding questions for me.
Good. Portland is the 6th fastest shrinking city in the United States. They're way past more time because people are just going to keep leaving. And then what's Portland going to do? Okay, the weather's bad up there. It's super liberal crazy up there. And now there's homeless people making it unsafe. I wouldn't blame them for leaving.
And again, this passed today, and it was 3-1. Mingus Mapps was out of town, but he did share his support for this vote. Again, it goes into effect on July 1st. Live in downtown Portland, Elise Haas, Coin 6 News.
All right, and then we did find out that MAPS is in D.C. and trying to lobby for some transportation fund, but we do know that in the past he did show that he would support this.
Yeah, he was a supporter, so he knew his vote was safe. So he went on to D.C. to lobby for those transportation.
So, let me know what you think about this ordinance. Okay? Let me know about the homeless situation in your home city. Do you live in the Pacific Northwest? Let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.